Hey guys, it's me, JDo, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Cave Project here in Minecraft, where I'm just going to be randomly building stuff here in this Minecraft cave. I thought documenting the progress and making it a small series here on the channel would be a good idea, so here we are. Basically, it's pretty much just going to be me adding a bunch of small builds here and there. If that's the kind of stuff you're interested in, then yeah, this might just be the video for you, honestly. But for now, I've decided to keep the modern house here until I actually decide what I want to replace it with, because right now I'm not too sure. So for now, until I can actually think of something like, oh, this would actually fit better in this place than that, then I'm gonna just leave it there for now till like an idea comes up in my head. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing here with the rest of this world here. I'm just kind of winging it, just kind of eyeballing the areas I have and seeing what I have to work with and kind of just going based off of that. Now all I'm doing right here is I'm just adding some small details to this little area here where the weapons and armor shack is that I built in the last episode. I'm just going to be doing the classic log stack with the rails that you've seen in multiple videos probably. I'm also going to be moving it a lot around in the Axiom mod, so like yeah, like when I tell you I'm indecisive when I'm building stuff, like it's really bad. Like the stuff I build, I move it around like left, right, here and there. It's actually insane. Sitting here actually looking back at my gameplay. Anyways, something I thought that would be cool for this is like if any of you watching this were to like suggest a build or something like that, like say someone watching this had like an idea of what I could replace that modern house over there with, you know, until people actually start commenting on my videos like that and stuff like that, we'll see. Honestly, this little series I'm doing here is just something fun for me to do, even if a lot of people don't watch it. It's all good. Yeah, we're just here to enjoy the process, really. I'm thinking maybe that's why I really enjoy making these kind of videos now, is it's just me just fucking chilling, vibing, and talking. And like, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, even if a lot of people don't watch it, like it's not gonna make me feel like shit. At least, like, I'm not gonna lie, there's times where I've put like hours and hours into editing a video and like it doesn't do as good as I thought it would or how I imagined it in my head. And like honestly, part of it is just me thinking like, oh, you make something funny, you'll get views, and it's like it's fucking, it's not like that, dude. I kind of had to like sit down and really like tell myself like this whole process, this whole thing you're doing here, like it's a very complicated thing, which what I'm trying to do here. I feel like sometimes we don't understand that enough. Right now I'm having fun doing this, and I'm glad I'm having fun doing this, cause like honestly, the process itself is just kind of fun. Like sitting here doing the voiceovers, going in later making edits and stuff, realizing what I messed up on, and I'm like, okay, I'll replace that part with this, or you know, little stuff like that. It's just kind of, I get a weird sense of fulfillment from what I'm doing on this channel, as low as my views may seem and as low as the numbers and all that shit. When it's like, once you realize the metrics and all that aren't really what matters and all, and some of this sometimes, like it's like you see things differently. It's like you see things almost kind of clearer, you know? Like knowing that I enjoy what I make is more than enough for me if I really think about it. Now to just randomly change the subject here, if you're curious as to what I'm trying to build right here, I was really thinking in my head was kind of just like, I don't know really, I was thinking just like a container filled with like ores and stuff, you know what I mean? And I thought redstone would be fitting for some reason. I don't really know why, but basically just imagine this as like a huge like container filled with ores and stuff, and imagine it as something that the workers at the weapons and armor shop would use, I guess. I don't know. That was kind of like what I was thinking in my head when I was building this, and looking at it now and like trying to explain the purpose of this small little thing here, it feels kind of weird, but I don't know. That's what it's there for, I guess, so take with that what you will. And then over here, I'm just kind of like adding small details to it. Like, I'm not really sure like what it is I'm exactly trying to do, but I'm trying to add like texture to this small little pile here, because I don't want it to just look like a pile of 3 blocks stacked a certain way, you know? So I'm using like buttons, you know, pressure pads or whatever it is, you know, stuff like that to kind of like make it stand out a little. Something to kind of make it look more like rocky, I guess. I don't really know. But then what I'm going to do over here is I'm actually going to add a little bit more detail here to where the cherry tree is at. And so the surrounding area, I'm just gonna have it be grass basically. And I'm not gonna do like the whole area, but just like a good section of it to where you can tell like, oh, there's enough grass for a tree to be planted here, you know what I mean? Like enough grass to where like it would make sense for a tree to be there. Cause like I was looking and I was like, it's only stone there, and like a tree being there like kind of looks weird. And so I decided I was gonna cover a small section of it with grass just to kind of make it look more natural, you know, like the tree actually belongs there. But I also wanted to leave some of the stone slabs just to make it stand out a little, you know. And then I went and covered the entire area here with moss, basically all the grass blocks. And then I thought later, I was like, you know what? Bone meal would be much better. I don't know why I covered it with moss, to be honest with you. This is like one of those things where it's like, I tell you I'm super indecisive about when I'm building stuff. Like I really am, bro. Like I literally went out of my way to place all of this just so I could go and remove it. But yeah, it's all good because honestly I really prefer the second option, and I'm glad I took that one. And like I went back and I was like, you know what, I could change this, I can change that. And over here we're just gonna add some pink petals here on the ground just to kind of make it match with the tree a little bit. Add a few smaller decorations here to the tree, and that's our little section there. Now so far we've just got a few small details added. Now we do have a really interesting build coming up soon here actually that I added right on top of the weapons and armor section actually. So this one I actually feel really good about because I had really mixed feelings on it when I first started it, and I was almost tempted to just cancel it altogether, but quite honestly I'm glad I pushed forward with it and kept going on because I'm really glad with how it turned out actually. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to be doing some slight terraforming, just kind of filling in the area a little bit more because I noticed some of the glowstone was kind of like hanging over a little bit, so it like almost where it looked a little unnatural. So I decided to just kind of fill some of those in with stone. And then from here I'm just kind of trying to gauge where I want my next actual build to be. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be placing like a floating house kind of, well not really floating because I'm going to be adding like this pillar underneath the house that like shows as like a stand or like a support for the actual building itself. But yeah, I'm basically just adding like a house that's like above all of this right here essentially in this specific area that I'm looking at. I'm going to just start figuring out the layout here. I feel like this build in particular is one of those builds that kind of prove that you just kind of got to trust your gut when it comes to certain things, you know. Like when I was first doing this I really didn't know if it was going to work out the way I thought it would, because that's usually what happens like 99% of the time when I build stuff, is like the way I pictured it in my head is not how it comes out when I actually start making it. But with this one, surprisingly, I was actually able to make certain things work. So right now I'm just kind of getting the foundation of the house set up here for like where it's going to be positioned at, because I already knew it was going to be like an upper position, like high above essentially. So I knew there's going to be a staircase leading somewhere to get you up to the house. Like I wasn't going to do like no crazy redstone elevator or no shit like that. Just something basic, just a staircase, you know. And then from here, I'm just going to go ahead and start filling in the walls. I decided to use birch wood, something like bright, because I kind of wanted it to kind of like match the tone with the glowstone in the background. Like I felt like having a super dark house surrounding the glowstone would feel a little too contrasty. And so I thought birchwood would kind of like complement the glowstone in the background a little well. I don't know, that was just kind of like my whole thought process going about it. And then over here, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing the staircase for the house. And then I'm just going to break a little doorway and a window. And then from here, I decided I can actually just copy and paste the entire staircase all the way down using Axiom. So I kind of went ahead and did that. It kind of took a while for me to figure out at first, but after using this for a while, I'll get the hang of it after a while. Like getting with this one here, basically all I did was I just copy and pasted the stairs itself, and then once I had a good amount, I just brought it all the way down to where the floor was at, and that was basically it. And quite honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it probably took me longer than it would have to just build myself. But hey, I got to learn something and figure out how this mod works. So like that's kind of my main goal with this too, is like part of it is just me learning how to really use this Axiom mod, because it is just insane the things you can do on here. Like it honestly blows my mind. Like sitting here watching myself copy and place entire sections of blocks that I can select is so fucking cool to me, honestly, dude. Like I remember when I was a kid and I used to build stuff in creative mode, I would sit here like, man, this is taking forever. And then now, like, I'm over here using the Axiom mod to like just copy and paste blocks and stuff, and like paint entire sections of a cave with glowstone like what I did here. It's cool, man. I gotta admit, it's really fun. And so now what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be kind of coming up with a railing idea for the stairs here. I kind of went through a whole bunch of different ideas and I eventually settled on one. And yeah, that's kind of basically it. Just another shot of me being indecisive again, like, oh, I want it to look like this, and then I changed blocks out. Oh no, I think this looks better. I will say this new black stone block they added to Minecraft is really cool, like the deep slate and like all these dark stone blocks. I really like these. I feel like it just pops out a lot more with some of the wood blocks here. And over here on the house, you can see I'm kind of just like looking at it, and something about it just really bugged me. Like it looked super flat, you know, like it was kind of, something about it seemed off. So like I was kind of looking at it, and I eventually went to Google Images to try and get like some inspiration, you know, like try and find out what it was that maybe this house was missing, you know. And so I eventually came to the conclusion that we should add a balcony to this house. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just gonna bring it out, not super far out, but like I'm not gonna make it super short either. And so I'm just gonna go along here with some oak wood, and then basically what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of making like these diagonal pillars that connect from the bottom of the balcony to the vertical pillars going underneath the house, to where it looks like there's something actually supporting the balcony, like it's not just another flat piece of wood that's going in a different direction, you know? Something to kind of, I don't know, just kind of spice things up a little, you know? And then I'm just kind of experimenting with different block patterns that'll kind of make this pop out a little bit even more. Like I did this thing with the stairs where I do a few upside down ones just to kind of like add some holes in between the actual pillars. I don't know why I really did that, honestly, but like I just thought it looked cool, so I decided to go with it. And I was like, I'm gonna mimic it on the other side, because I actually figured out a little pattern here where I was like, I could just do it super quick, and like I was like, I don't know, it was fun to do, and I thought it looked cool personally. So yeah, that's how those look. Over here I'm just gonna add some trapdoors going down the pillars, just to kind of add a little more depth in between the pillars and the actual stairs. And then over here I kept bumping into this freaking rock thing, so I went into World Edit and I was like, yeah, this thing's going. So that's what's cool about this too, using Axiom mod to just remove huge chunks of things that are in the way, you know. Like I literally sat here and I was like, it didn't take me too long to figure out how to remove this. It's really convenient, I'm not gonna lie. It's really convenient having stuff like this. You know, when I was first playing Minecraft, you just had to use TNT and hope for the best. But going back to the balcony here, we're just gonna go ahead and fill this in. We're gonna use some spruce slabs, just to kind of add some color variation with the wood and all that, you know what I mean? And for some reason, I decided to use white glass panels on here. Now, honestly, I might even change that out just for the regular glass ones later, but I don't know. For some reason, I thought using the white ones would fit the best with this house for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I just kind of went full on with it. So yeah, there's that. And then from here, I'm kind of just gonna add like a big sliding glass door. Well, not a sliding glass door, but just like a big glass doorway kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like this essentially would just act as like both a window and like it essentially mimics a glass door, but in Minecraft. You know what I mean? We're just gonna do some more minor details here. Like we're gonna do some upside down stairs right above the glass pane. That's like one of my favorite things to do personally. Depending on the build, I almost feel like it's like a cardinal sin to not do stairs underneath your glass panes. Like when you have stuff like this, like if you're just using a solid block, it's like in my head I'm like, you just want your build to be ugly, you know what I mean? But like like obviously like a lot of people who play Minecraft, they don't fucking build shit because they think it looks nice. They're just building something because they don't want to fucking die, you know? Like there's survival mode too. I don't know, I kind of realized how much time I actually spend in creative mode and how much I kind of liked just building different things in this game, you know? Like, I don't hate survival at all. Like, I fuck around with survival. There was actually a server one of my friends made where he was able to get Java and Bedrock players to play together, and I'm not gonna lie, there were times it lagged pretty hard, but when it worked, dude, like, it worked. It was pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fun. On top of that, there was like all these mods inside the server itself too, so like basically our console friends were able to experience the Minecraft that they never thought they could through console. So like little shit like that was just kind of cool. It's also something I've definitely thought of making a series on, so if that's something you'd be interested in, like, let me know in the comments, you know, like, if you would be interested in seeing me and the bros doing the cross-platform Minecraft stuff, messing around with the mods and all that shit on that specific server, like, that is something we've thought about doing, but I will say, like, sometimes when it lags really bad. Like, all in all, like, it's still fun, like, it still makes for chaotic moments that I feel like would be super fun just to make into videos, you know? I think that's one thing that made me lean heavy into funny moments content at first was because, like, in general, like, that shit's just fun to make, period. Like, the recording session is just us having fun. The edits, it's kind of just like me having fun figuring out, oh, what would make this stand out? What would make that moment stand out? Little things like that. Trying to figure out little things that I can do. You know what I mean? Especially like once you learn how like editing effects work and all that stuff. Like right now I just use basic ass CapCut, and right now it's fun, but I definitely plan on like trying out bigger stuff like Adobe Premiere and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like I do want to like branch out into like the higher tier stuff just to kind of like for the sake of fucking around with it, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I see some of these Aura edits and I'm like, oh, another one of these, but then there's few I see and I'm like, alright, I actually kind of like this. Alright, now moving on to the actual build, I just kind of went in through in a little dark oak roof, and I'm just kind of experimenting here with fence posts and whatnot, and kind of trying to figure out what I can do to kind of add to this build a little more, you know? So like I kind of add like these small pillars here connecting down to the balcony from the roof using the fences and whatnot, and then add like a small little thing here in the corner of where the roof is at. I'm not really sure like why I put this here, but like I just thought it looked cool to add that in there, and so yeah, I threw that in there. As you can see here, eventually I kind of go overboard with the fences, but I realize it as soon as I do it, so I start taking them out, and I leave a few in here and there, but not enough to where it's like, oh, it's fence overload like what you just saw. And so yeah, basically just me experimenting with more stuff basically. And yeah, I feel like these small little details just kind of added to the house a lot more, really, if I'm being honest with you. Like it kind of just makes it a little more visually pleasing to look at. And that's all I was really going for with this specific build, I guess. It's just something that looks like it makes sense for it to be there, I guess, you know, or it looks like it belongs there. Then once I get the actual house itself done, I'm just going to be working on other details like the interior, stuff like the walls and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and start filling these in. One thing that I thought was cool is how the glowstone actually kind of merged into the house itself. So like you don't really need any like lighting inside. Like I don't have to place any torches anywhere or anything like that. Like that's just a lot less for me to have to worry about realistically. So I thought it was pretty cool. And over here I'm kind of like adding like these makeshift type of shelves in a way, where I'm just using the trapdoors at the very top section of the block area and placing stuff on it basically to kind of look like a shelf. I don't know what it is, but like for some reason I find just like building stuff in creative mode, it's just super relaxing, you know? Like I'm just chilling, I'm doing my thing. If I mess something up, I can fix it. Like honestly, this is like a complete 180 from the type of content I usually make, but I kind of like it. This is kind of fun. You know, I really enjoyed actually doing the first episode for this. As awkward as it felt at first, like I slowly kind of got more comfortable doing it, and it kind of got me more excited to make the next episode, honestly, like to record this one, and like just kind of like seeing the process of where I'm taking all this. It's kind of fun to see, sitting here and reacting to how I'm slowly making this project bigger and bigger, you know? And then one thing I wanted to point out too was I figured out how you can actually select which like paintings you can place now in Minecraft, and I just thought that was so cool. Like I literally sat here for like I don't know how long, like just looking at different specific paintings, like I want this one, I want that one. And I like how it shows like the area of it too, like it'll tell you if it's a 2x2 or a 1x2 or a 4x4 or whatever type, you know what I mean? Like little stuff like that, like these small little additions they've been adding to the game lately. Like it's all the kind of stuff that I just wish was already in the game, but like, you know, what can I do, you know? Eventually, after scanning multiple paintings, I finally figure out which ones I actually want to add to the house, which ironically was probably like the most annoying but also the most fun part of this build, was just going through all the different paintings. Like, oh wow, I can actually pick what painting I want, you know what I mean? Like, not gonna lie, there's a lot of fucking names to remember for these, but like the ones I do like, I already know the names will stand out to me, so like, you know what I mean? It's not one of those things it's not like it overracks my brain at all, you know? And yeah, now that we've got pretty much the rest of the interior done here, I'm just gonna go up over on the roof and add a few smaller details just so it doesn't look like a dark pyramid up there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw in some windows here where the roof is at on both ends. And yeah, that's kind of where our house is at right now. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna add some small details here on the balcony so it's not just some flat area of nothingness. So I'm gonna add a small little chair here. Just gonna do a staircase and a slab in front like that. Then here in front towards the right, no, the left. Then here in front towards the left of the chair, we're gonna put a small desk, kind of like a coffee table kind of thing here, right? And I'm just gonna do a little small plant here, and then I'm gonna get an item frame and throw some food on there. I eventually went with the glow berries just to kind of mimic like a plate with food on it, you know? And then I also went to the middle here of this little coffee table and decided to throw in a jukebox because why not? Thought it was something that would be interesting, so went and threw that in. And then from here, just going to be adding a few smaller details to the house itself. I'm going to be doing some small lighting stuff here and there, add some lanterns around. And yeah, that is the pillar floating kind of house, I guess. I don't honestly, we'll just say we'll call it an apartment for now, since it's like I don't know, it's a normal house, but it happens to be at an elevated level with pillars underneath with a staircase leading up to it. So it's a very high up house, but I will say the view from the balcony is amazing. You'll see here in a little bit, but honestly, yeah, I'm actually really proud with how this build came out. I was honestly questioning what I was going to do with this when I first started it, and I really didn't think it was going to come out as good as it really came out now when I'm looking at it. So yeah, I'm definitely proud of this build here. We're just going to go ahead and walk up these stairs here and go and take a step in and see what it looks like inside. And yeah, nice and cozy here. Got the nice basic simple interior going on. And yeah, also if you don't mind, just rub your feet on the carpet right there and, you know, get the dirt off your shoes. Thank you, I appreciate that. Got some cake here if you feel like having some later. It's all for grabs. Yeah, this is where I say Not really. I don't live here. I don't live in Minecraft, obviously, but I'm just trying to be immersive, I guess. I was kind of have this thought where it's like, what if I lived here, you know? Like, how would I want this place to look if I was staying here? And that will conclude episode 2 for the cave project here in Minecraft. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun making this one. I'm really glad I stuck through and stuck to my guns when it came to this build, because I honestly couldn't be happier with how this one came out. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.